May I have your attention, please?
Yes. It's a little Jay Dilla, y'all. Welcome to Detroit. Classic album. If you don't have it, go pick it up.
Welcome to Sticks and Picks. I'm Jeff Antoon, surrounded by two of my good friends, Jamal Mitchell, Mitch Dot, Jam, and Cole Flinton, Cole 45. How you guys doing today?
Good, man.
Let's talk social issues to start off.
Hold on. Before we get into this episode real quick, I'm new to this whole thing, so I'm curious, just how did this all manifest? How did this come about? What made you guys want to do Sticks and Picks?
Sticks and Picks actually started off as Brothers of the Leaf.
Yes.
And that was taken. Jam, why don't you tell me why did we start this?
Basically, you know, if you go over across the nation, you go to any barber shop, any cigar shop, any place of business where there's majority men there, you're going to be talking about sports, talking about social issues. You're going to be talking about an array of things when men get together. So we were in the cigar shop, and it was packed that night. It was a lot of people in there. And everybody was just talking about sports, favorite football, who's the best Super Bowl, all that. Me and him not knowing that each individually wanted to start a podcast, a sports podcast. So we were just going around asking everybody questions about sports.
Favorite player, top 5 NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball.
Yeah. And so at almost towards in the middle of it, Jeff mentions, man, we should all start it. I was like, man, that's what I've been trying to do as well.
So it was kind of like divine intervention in a sense, to where two people were together in the same place at the same time, not even knowing, and then it was like it was meant to be almost.
And if you don't believe in divine intervention, it could be a perfect storm.
I like that.
I got to do that because you don't want to piss anyone else off. But here's my point. I got to him and we like to talk. We got diarrhea mouth, especially about sports.
Yeah.
And we sat down and I said, and it was like I'm getting the chills thinking about it right now. Saying, man, we just want to shoot the shit about sports, about women, about fashion, guy stuff, cigar, manly, boom. That's kind of what we did this for. And then I go to get my new glasses, and I got a buddy optometrist, and I asked him, I said, my friend and I, Jamal, at the cigar bar, we smoke cigars, would you be interested in helping out? And he goes, damn, this is exactly what I was thinking about. I wanted to start my own. So again, we had this whole concept, and that's kind of why we did. We put this together, Sticks and Picks.
Nice. Well, I'm glad to be a part of it, and thank you guys for having me.
Of course, we like sports.
What's going on?
What made me do it, man? I go to the cigar lounge all the time. I see you guys all the time, hanging out, the camaraderie that I've seen from everybody, and I enjoy it. I have fun doing it. So it was one of those deals where it was like, hey, we need somebody that's going to commit. We need the commitment. And I was like, you know what? Why not? So here I am, and I'm enjoying every minute of it so far.
So let's take a second and ask. Tell me your expertise. What do you bring to the table? What do you bring to Sticks and Picks?
What do I bring to Sticks and Picks?
What's your favorite sports and stuff?
My favorite sport is obviously I'm a football guy, huge Redskins fan.
NFL or arena?
He is very good.
Well, if you look at the way the Redskins play, you might want to say that it could be arena at times, but all the way NFL.
Okay. And your team is
the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, he's usually wearing a Redskins hat.
I'm representing the Veje Negra.
Okay. So wait, you go NFL, and then what's your next tier? What can you still talk about?
I can talk about anything. I mean, I'm not afraid to do research, even if I don't know.
Okay, so give us your favorite second sport to watch.
My favorite second sport to watch would have to be, I want to say, college basketball. I like the intensity of the college basketball without all the drama, so to speak, of I can switch teams. Yeah.
Okay. Jan, what about you?
Well, you know, my favorite sport definitely is basketball. You know, but I used to play in high school. But I can talk about anything, but my secondary sport definitely is NFL. Detroit Lions, Detroit everything, Detroit versus everybody. I'm sorry to plug it, but I had to.
So, NBA or college basketball, or just all basketball? All basketball. You a high school basketball fan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Texas got a good programs here, man.
Yeah.
Austin has some pretty good teams here, so it's fun to watch. For me, my number one's baseball.
Yeah, of course.
I played professional baseball for the Kansas City Royals. I got drafted in the 28th round in 1992. You can look me up. And this is the funniest thing. I was like the 700th pick of that draft. That's embarrassing. But I signed a $10,000 contract in the 28th round. I got $2,000 in cash, which I think I spent at the party. And I actually got 10 extra thousand to finish my college education. So they paid for me to graduate from Santa Barbara. And that's what I appreciated with them in the process. So baseball is my one. I play basketball, football. I love all the other sports. I love hockey. Hockey playoff time is one of my favorites.
It's going down right now.
Right, it is. And we're going to get into that in a little bit in a second. So that's kind of what we're experts at. So let's get into some social issues. Donald Trump and Kanye West. Who wants this one? Because this one is
I'll take
a bag of fodder. Right?
Listen, Kanye West has been in the media lately for like his weird look, his gaining of weight. So he was out of the limelight for a minute. I honestly think, fellas, it's about publicity because he's coming out with an album June 1st, I believe. And I just believe a lot of the things he's saying, he's just saying just to be relevant.
Like a marketing ploy, basically.
Basically, I mean, I don't think he means any other stuff. His alliance, if you will, with Donald Trump is just, I think it's publicity.
And see, the other thing to think about as well is Donald Trump playing this up like he's a friend of the black community in America.
That's what he's doing. So it's almost like they're, you know, you wash my back, I wash yours. That's basically what it is. But
it makes sense from the presidential standpoint and from his standpoint. I mean, he's able to touch more people with that album coming out, get a whole different crowd than what he might usually draw, just based on the fact that he's friends with Donald Trump.
Everybody loves Kanye.
It's true.
Whether it was, I just think it's to be the publicity, the hype, the build up to the album, but Kanye has to also understand he can't sell his soul.
Has he already sold it though?
Yeah, I believe he has. Because everybody wants Kanye to get back to the old Kanye. The polo, the backpack.
Kanye.
Yeezy.
That Yeezy came after the...
I'm sorry, I'm way out of it.
Yeezy came after that. But the raw, uncut hip-hop Kanye, the produced, because he's getting back
like
into
college
production.
dropout Kanye.
What was the blood?
Late registration
right.
Kanye.
What was the Blood Diamond one?
Diamonds
Ever?
Forever.
Is that new? Or is that old Kanye?
That was old Kanye.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So again, we think it's a publicity stunt more than anything.
That's our unanimous thought.
All right, let's go into let's stay with music. We'll come back to our second topic. What's the difference between music today and music from the past?
It was more organic back then.
Okay, what's your past? What's the definition of past?
Past, I mean,
70s, 80s, 50s, 60s?
70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
So I grew up in the era where my dad had crates and crates of albums from The Temptation to Old Santana to Paul McCartney, Rolling Stones, everything. The Beatles. He had an array of music. So I grew up on different genres of music. So I'm able to listen to anything, you know. So back then it was real. Like people were actually singing about things they were actually going through. Nowadays, people are making up stuff so it can seem appealing to this audience or appealing to this audience, but they really not living.
Whoa! What do you mean this? You touched me. Are you saying Lebanese audience? Are you saying white audience?
Mia Khalifa?
Fat audience? What is it?
No, sir. No. What I was saying was just, I was using you as my
Example.
And I was just saying that back then it was organic. Live instrumentation. Now you got a lot of digitized music where it's straight samples, which samples is not wrong, but it's like the sound is not warm. It's not, you can't, some stuff you can feel, But back then, you could feel anything. Like when Al Green sung "So Beautiful," if you ever heard that song, you could feel what he was saying to that woman, man. Nowadays, it's not like that.
It's not like that at all.
No, but there are some people, lost artifacts, if you will, that are coming back and they bring that raw, uncut, real music back.
I agree with
What do you
that. I totally agree with that. I mean, I'm a hip hop guy, honestly. I've grown up. I'm an '80s baby, so my whole I grew up basically listening to '90s music. To me, the '90s era was the best era of any kind of music. I mean, you had the grunge movement with like Nirvana and Kurt Cobain.
Right.
Then you had Tupac, you had Biggie, you had all those guys that, like you said, that spoke to the masses through their lyrics. Whereas today, in hip hop especially, it's a bunch of mumble rap. And by mumble rap, to me, it means like you can have a great beat, phenomenal beat, but the words are mumbled to where you can almost add any kind of lyric you want to. You can sing whatever you feel like, nursery rhyme to it, and it'll go along with it.
Right.
But like you said, you still have those hidden gems, those artifacts, as you call them, that are out there that are still able to put the lyrics with the music.
What are some of the
touch
artifacts that you think that
like right now, to me, J. Cole. J. Cole talks about real life situations. His whole new KOD album that just came out, it's all about real life events that are going on in society. Like the song Photograph, for instance, is about falling in love with the photograph that you saw on the internet. You don't even know this person, but yet you're able to still fall in love with that person and hopefully one day get to meet them. The drug use that's going on with the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much realness in his music and in his lyrics that
It's poetry.
yeah, it's poetry basically.
I mean, that's what my genre is more of alternate rock, like Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, U2, probably a little softer with that rock. I love all music.
Duran.
That was 80s. I still love that. I play 80s a lot.
Yeah.
Just for reminiscing.
I like
It's fun music. You can sing to the lyrics. But I'm more of a genre. I'll put a genre on and then just let it play. I don't really pick a song or something anymore. Like
You just put it on the era.
Yeah, just put it on the air and just listen to it, and then you can I find new, like, oh, I like this one. I can thumbs up on Pandora or Spotify. Something you could pick that makes it exciting to keep and play again in the future. So for me, I like it all. I mean, I'm comparing to today versus then. It's more, I don't know what the word is for it. It's like maybe it is. But when you have what's that girl, Rebecca? She's saying it's Friday, that teenager song.
It's Friday.
Friday. They were doing this crap. It looked like 12-year-olds were driving a car and they're making music and they were. What's the auto-tune thing? Like anyone
the
can
auto-tune.
sing.
Yeah, T-Pain.
But I mean, T-Pain's pretty good, but the auto-tune concept.
He had to prove himself though.
Right, but the auto-tune, and then they put the app out and everyone can go. You can do your own stupid stuff. So for me, it's anything. I don't really have a preference for that. Let's go into the best era of music. What's your best era?
My best era is probably. Go ahead, Cole.
I was gonna say mine was the '90s. Jay-Z, Biggie, Tupac, Nirvana.
Now, are you talking about hip hop or are you talking about overall?
In general.
Overall, in general.
But you have to break it down because '80s was mainly dominated by what? Pop, rock, and roll.
Michael Jackson.
All right. So that's why I said you have to go. Why do you say '90s?
Well, who's the king of hip hop? First off,
King
of pop is Michael Jackson.
That's very objective.
Right.
King of hip hop is very objective. But when you come to like pop or rock, I mean, you know who's number one. But hip hop is a little bit
right. That's subjective. I mean,
Yeah,
my top five.
Would you say Prince? Was he the? Would you say he?
Well, see, that's the thing. Prince,
Because he was 80s.
Yeah.
he was
kinda-
80s.
he kinda
Well,
transitioned.
actually, his first album came in 1978. The very first
At
album.
the time?
No, it was him by himself.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, his
I just
first
remember
album
the
came
middle
out in
school girls were loving
1978.
Prince, man. Especially Purple Rain.
Purple
Yeah,
Rain.
Purple Rain, but that was 90s. No, was that late? No, that was late 80s.
Because I remember it was middle
That was
school,
late 80s.
85.
Late 80s, yeah.
So yeah, you're right. So what would you clarify? What do you
You have
give
to
best
clarify.
or best
Why
era?
would you say 90s?
Why would I say no? I mean, I grew up listening to that. Obviously, I grew up listening to classical growing up too, and I grew up listening to like R&B, pop stuff, like we were just talking about. But I just feel like the quality of the music from the 90s, whether it was rock or alternative or hip hop or whatever, was the best time for all music as a whole,
Right.
and not just one specific genre of music.
So who's your favorite artist then?
My favorite artist of all time? Man,
Who could
I'm
you
a
listen
hip hop head. Jay-Z, I can listen to him on repeat
Jay-Z.
all day.
There you go.
Jay-Z's your
Jay-Z,
favorite.
we need you on the show.
What about you?
Best favorite one is definitely you two. I like how they
Best era too.
best era. I mean, I just feel like it's when you're a teenager because you expand from this 10-year-old age into the coming of music. It makes you feel things, and then you start to like the opposite sex or whatever sex you like, and then dancing and
It's like a staple in your mind.
yeah. And I think it's
At
when
that
you're a
time.
teenager.
You really recognize certain things.
I don't know, to me, it's 80s, probably early 90s for me, and then everything after that, just whatever hits.
Yeah.
But I would say that for me. About you?
I would say, as far as R&B, soul music, pop, rock, alternative, I would say the 80s for that, and the 70s. 70s, 80s, R&B, soul music. Hip hop,
Like your Al Greens, your Keith Sweats.
well, Keith Sweat's more so late 80s, early
Right.
90s.
Bell Biv DeVoe?
But that's all 90s. So I would say, as far as like hip hop, 90s was the best era for me because I grew up listening to Rob Bass, Easy Rock, EPMD, but I was young. But when like he said, when you get into your 16, 15, 14, you understand the music, you appreciate,
Right.
oh, this is DJ Premier and Guru, this is Gangstar. And you understand it, and then those staples in your mind when you had your first kiss, when you went to prom. I understood it, so I would
Right.
say hip hop would be the 90s for me. That was the best era of.
Okay, let's add one. What's one song that you can remember that will come on the radio or play that it'll take you right back to your childhood
Shit.
or dances in high school,
that,
something like that.
That Mass Appeal by Gangstar.
Okay, you probably sing it right now, couldn't you?
Yes.
Mine would be this. I'm going way off. The birds and the bees. Let me tell you about the birds.
Oh
and
my
the
gosh.
bees, flowers in the trees.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. What about yours?
You're gonna kill me on this one. Dances in high school, they played "Stairway to Heaven," but it was
By
white.
OJ's?
No, that was
Led
Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
And then they played White Lines, Vision, Dreams
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Passion,
yeah.
running through my mind.
So,
And
I got a
oh,
question
wow,
for you,
I think
Joe.
of you.
Ah.
I never
With
did.
it being Stairway to Heaven, can I ask you 7 minutes or less than 7 minutes?
Then or now? I'm not answering that.
Well, then, what is the longer version, right? I'm pretty sure it was.
Because that's a long song.
Oh,
man.
We're not gonna tell you why.
That's a long song.
You know what?
You can figure
You know what the
out.
awkward thing is in Stairway to Heaven, that song? It was a slow dance at first, right? Everyone was like, yeah. And then it got rock and roll, and you're like,
Yeah.
you're doing the Carlton dance. You're like,
Yeah.
So I mean, that to me, that brings me back all the time to high school dances. So that's
Pink
kind of
Floyd.
Pink Floyd, man.
Ooh, boy.
Oh, man.
That was that under the
The Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon. Oh man, that
Yeah.
album
I'll
was
still listen to that. in my
man.
car
That whole
today.
album jam.
Yes.
The
all
whole
the way
album.
through.
All the way through.
All the way through.
Yeah, my boy Bergen. Shout out to my boy Bergen, boy. We gotta hook up again. Bergen put me up on that one day. I went over his house, man. He put that thing on, man. I couldn't believe it, dog.
Yeah.
It was that's a classic.
It is one
a
of them.
classic.
Yeah.
Like I said, I still listen
I think
that
to me
today.
that's their best album.
For sure.
Seriously.
And we can't play those right now, but you guys understand. Let's transition a little bit. Last social issue we're going to talk about are basketball shoes. Favorite basketball shoes. I'm going to leave this up to you guys because I just remember wearing Jordan. I think they were number ones when I was a senior in high
Number
school.
one.
His shoes, we wore those because it had no arch. It was that flat.
Flat bottom.
Flat bottom.
Yeah, so we played with those and we sucked, but
Well,
that's
for
my
me,
memory of that.
I mean, growing up in Detroit, we was all about fashion, shoes. You have to come flying correct when you go to school. Of course, iconic Jordan. I mean, everybody across the world knows about Jordan. And growing up, that was the favorite shoe, whether it was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Everybody wanted to be like Mike.
Everybody wanted to be like Mike. So the Jordans definitely back in the day, growing up, Reebok pumps. We wore those.
Oh, remember those?
Yeah, the Reebok
Who was
black
the Celtics
top.
guy?
D Brown.
D Brown. Pump, pump,
Yeah,
pump,
so
pump, pump.
the Reeboks, British Nikes, of course, Air Force Ones in Detroit, we wore Air Force Ones. But now, the LeBrons, the ones that he's fusing and paying homage to all the Nike greats before him that came out with shoes like the Deion Sanders, he's fusing, he wore those last night. Or no, Tuesday. He wore the all black Deion Sanders. So he has his shoe, but the strap comes from the Deion Sanders shoe that he brought up.
Yeah, I remember that football shoe growing
So
up.
I think right now the hottest shoe to me is probably the LeBron's because of how he's doing, how he's campaigning.
All
the different.
Yeah.
He had
He's
the Vince
combining everything together.
Vince Carter fusions. He had the Deion's. He had the Bo Jacksons. He had the 95 Air Maxes. Now he has the Jordan 1s and
I
LeBron
saw those.
mix.
Those are pretty hot, actually.
Man, those
How much they cost?
Yeah.
It's gonna be at least $2 something.
Do something, yeah, for sure.
I can't imagine. When I spend $100 on shoes, I like cry. I can't imagine.
Well, back in the day, the Jordans used to be $100.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
were
but I'm talking about
100
today.
And that was high then.
They were like 110, 120
Yeah.
though. Now it's shot up to 220.
Well, even in some boutiques, they're like 500.
Yeah, that's
2,000.
you're talking aftermarket though.
Did you guys ever have a friend that always wore the fashion way late? Do you ever have a friend like that?
Yeah.
Because you're looking at him right now.
Uh,
I was the guy that came in with the stuff, like I was so happy to get it, and everyone's like, man, that was like 2 series ago, dude.
Right.
So that was me. I'm gonna have to.
But that's kind of how the South and the North was. Like, we were always up on fashion, being that we were close to New York. So in New York,
I was an East Coast guy myself. I'm from
you know, the
Virginia.
boats come in from like Gucci. Everybody comes into New York, so that's why it's the fashion capital of America. Because they get everything first, and then whatever state is close by, they get that.
Right,
It filters out. Then the South kind of was like kind of behind. They was up on
They
certain
had
things.
their own little movement.
Right, they had their
down
own
here.
little movement.
Yeah.
So, but to me, sneakers, man. Oh, and my favorite ones of all time, because he's my favorite player of all time, the Allen Iverson question. The first one.
Those were hot too, though.
Yeah,
He came out with the red ones first, right? With the red tip, and then
He came out with the blue tip, then the red tip.
Yeah, and they brought those back out not too long ago.
Yeah,
actually.
and he has different color waves with it.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
hot, man. So AI, Reebok,
Hey, Newport News.
needs to
Like I said, I'm
appreciate
from
you
Virginia.
more, brother, because those questions was hot.
We got a spot for you on the show if you want to guest appearance.
Oh no, you know, here no question,
Yeah.
he'll do it, bro.
AI?
I believe AI do
He
it.
probably
No
would.
question.
So what about you?
Man, the Jordan 11 to me growing up was my favorite shoe. I just loved it. The
Oh,
patent
yeah,
leather,
yeah.
how
The
he
patent
came
leather,
out with the
yeah,
patent
yeah.
leather. He was
Yeah,
basically
it
the
was
first one that did that. You already mentioned all the good ones though, the pumps. I mean, it was like, let me pump you up real quick so I can play better.
The Reeboks,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Everybody thought back then, growing up, that those shoes would make you run faster, jump higher, play basketball
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
Everything. Like I said earlier, everybody wanted to be like Mike. Right now, I've always been an Adidas guy too. Shell toes. I love the shell toes.
I got some shell toes on
Yeezy,
right now.
going back to Kanye, the Yeezys, man. The V1s though are a lot better than the V2s. I like the Calabasas that he has that just came out recently. That whole movement, the NMDs. I like what Adidas is doing right now.
You remember
How
the
they're
ones he
bringing in the
did
hip-hop
for
artists.
Nike?
Yes, but
The first Kanye
I didn't really-
was Nike.
like the Red Octobers.
Yeah, with the strap.
Yeah, with the
yeah,
strap.
people forget he came from Nike first,
Yeah.
and then Nike didn't want him to make his own.
He wanted to have his own.
Oh,
He wanted to put his own input
So
into it. And they
Adidas
said no.
allowed him to do that.
Which I really like. I mean, I like the fact that Adidas is allowing these artists, like you got the Pharrell. Pharrell's got his own shoes
Yeah.
now. You've got Kanye making his own
Yes.
shoes.
You got
Lamar's making
Migos.
his own
Migos.
shoes, Yeah.
How about Sticks and Picks making their own?
Ooh, that'd be nice. With the new
Designers.
era too, baby.
Designers right here.
Right.
Okay. That's awesome. I have nothing on that because I just pick whatever is out there, and it's not really fashionable for me. I don't really.
So basically, you're saying like when your kids get into high school, you're the uncool father.
No, I'm the cool father, but I'll help them get what they want.
Fashion wise,
I won't be able to help them. I'll have to have them talk to Uncle Jan.
Yeah.
Uncle
Just
Jan.
tell
Tell
them,
the
hey,
kids.
boys, nephews, I got you.
I know that my son was looking at. He's 11. He was looking at the LeBrons, and what does a dad do? I looked at the price tag.
$220.
And I was like, okay.
But you remember when we were younger though?
Yeah.
How we used to do the same thing to our parents. My mom used to say, damn,
Yeah.
them motherfuckers is $80?
Yeah.
Like, Mom, come on, that's nothing. But me being
My
a
dad
child,
would be
I
like,
understand.
yeah, my dad would be like, why don't you get the $40 tennis shoes and then you can get another pair for $40?
Right, nobody's
and I'm like,
doing
no, I want the $80
Yeah,
shoes.
yeah.
So that's what, it's all fashion right now. All right, that's all we got for social media, social issues. Let's get into the NHL playoffs. Let's do the East. The Capitals and Penguins.
Man,
It's
that series right there.
You see that
Ovi,
hit that dude got?
Yes, actually, he's facing a suspension for that. Actually,
Man, he hit him pretty hard.
he broke his jaw actually
Wow,
on
yeah,
that.
yeah,
and then you've got Ovi that has scored. And
Ovechkin.
Ovechkin.
If
He
you don't know
scored-
who Ovi is, get to know him.
He scored in 4 straight playoffs already, or
Yeah.
in 4 straight playoff
Ovi.
games, and then he's also
Series.
got eight total already in the playoff. Did you see the goal that he made the
Yeah,
other night
yeah,
though,
yeah.
where the guy flipped the puck in the air, and next thing you know, he just slaps it in?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Man.
And they can't, when you play hockey, you can't go above your shoulders.
Right.
You can't slap it out of the air. It's got to be below there. It's high sticking. And it's 2-1 right now. Caps over the Penguins. And for the last, I think it's 3 seasons, the Penguins have knocked out the
Yeah.
Capitals.
Yeah.
And they just, and the Capitals
it's
are
a
such
war
a
right
great
now.
team.
Right.
It's a
I'm
war.
hoping, I'm rooting, because the Penguins have won the last 2 Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the Capitals and Ovechkin can finally get over the hump, because we love that in sports, especially if it's not your team.
Right.
We love that underdog to win, and not that they're the underdogs, it's just they just can't beat the Penguins.
It's
Right.
just a bad matchup.
Right.
That's it.
and
I
they
think
got-
that's what it is.
It's getting scrappy. It is getting scrappy. Even Crosby came out and got a high sticking against Ovi actually
Yeah.
in that game too.
Yeah.
And then you also got like Wilson being out. I don't know if that hurts him or if it helps the Caps, or
I
helps
think
the
that the
Penguins.
Caps at this point need all hands on deck.
Yeah.
So that messes up the continuity of the team, the flow, when you have that one piece that was in there.
Right.
So it might hurt them, man. But if OV can find a way to do a LeBron-esque type thing, put his team on his back, I think they can pull it forward.
If they beat the Penguins, though, I will take the Capitals all the way through the Stanley Cup.
Well, you got to face the winner of the Lightning and the Bruins.
Lightnings are playing
Yeah,
It's
phenomenal right now
it's
too.
2-1 Lightning, and the Bruins are favored in that series because they were like the 1 seed.
Right,
overall.
That's what I like. When the person that you think is not supposed to win starts to get on your ass.
We all love an underdog.
We love the underdog.
Yeah, because I mean, my team, the Kings, were smoked in the first
Yeah.
round by the Golden Knights that are now in the West. It's 2-2 Sharks and the Golden Knights. I thought the Golden Knights were going to sweep,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you what, the Sharks are that blue collar. What I love about hockey,
Yeah,
it's gritty. It's
gritty.
They grind. I know that word grind comes out in a lot of sports, but I really feel like this is their opportunity to Vegas Knights to showcase themselves. I think everyone who's not your team's out are going to be rooting for the Vegas Golden Knights because this is their first year in the league.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool
Right.
to see.
It is.
So they're 2-1, 2-2 there, and then the other West is the Predators, Nashville Predators that made the Stanley Cup last year,
Yeah.
and the Winnipeg Jets, and that's 2-1 Jets over the favorite there.
Jets.
Are you on that?
This
Yeah.
Does
year,
does anyone know where Winnipeg is?
it's in Canada, right?
Yeah, it's in Canada.
Yeah.
But if you told me to pick it on a map, like there's no cities, I couldn't tell you.
The only thing they got
west,
going in
east,
Canada
north,
for
south.
them is they got free health care, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. They got hockey players too.
Are you saying that to Obama or Trump?
I'm not getting political here.
Well, we already talked about Trump.
He just said healthcare, man. He
Hey,
said
listen,
free
man,
healthcare.
We need
This
free
is
health
our
care.
voice,
Trump,
man.
if you're listening, free health care in the United States would be great. You're already going to raise our taxes. Maybe go ahead and legalize the medicinal marijuana, and then we can get that revenue, and we can have that health care.
Okay, on a quick tangent, Congress is thinking about decriminalizing marijuana.
They should.
That's a federal thing.
Because how
That'd be
can you
interesting.
have one state or a couple of 3 states it's legal in, but then, say for instance, they go there, they may have forgot they're having such a good time, they come back across the state line, and then they get arrested.
Yeah, so
Right.
you know,
So
like
it's
Colorado,
like, that's not right.
Colorado was first, and kids would go into Colorado and get their
And then
marijuana,
leave.
let's use the official term, and then they would bring it back home, and the crime in the states around those states is up, especially with marijuana possession. So something to think about.
I think it should be legal. I mean,
And Texas is notorious.
there's so many benefits to it on a health standpoint, even that people don't want to look at. I think it would bring in a lot of money tax-wise, because you know they're going to tax the shit out
Right,
of it.
right.
You know, so it depends on what they decide they want to do with the money that they do bring in, though. That's the big thing, because so many times we get lied to and say, oh, it's going to go to education.
Right, it's not
Well,
gonna-
teachers
right.
are one of the lowest paid careers out there. I mean, they're the ones that are bringing in, they're the ones that are producing the doctors. You know, they're molding them into human beings, like great human beings, but yet don't get the credit for it. They're
Yeah.
basically treated as babysitters, in my opinion.
But it's a big daycare.
Right.
Because most of the day you're with the teacher.
Right.
While your parent
Right.
is at work, creating a better life for you and your siblings. So I believe they need. But back in the day, when I was in elementary, parents used to give them free reign. Like if he acts up, spank him. Now you do this to a kid and he's in the wrong.
Yeah,
the parent is like, "Don't you do that?" And no, you can't put your. And now it's even the parent can't even get on the children's ass.
It's true.
You
You're
can't
not
even
on-
discipline your
spanking,
children.
Spanking is bad right now.
Yeah, that's a
I mean,
whole-
you got to worry about CPS nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like Pandora's box.
But back in the day, that was normal.
We could do a whole episode about parenting,
Yeah.
because we're all parents, so we know we're in the midst of what's happening right now. We could talk totally about that. That'd be a great episode to
Yeah,
have
it
as
would,
well.
it would.
Let's transition into the NBA. Most of our
Oh.
fortes here. Let's start with the West. Last night's game, Rockets in Utah.
Ooh, I didn't
It's
see
now
that
tied
coming.
up. It's now tied up, and the Jazz
I
won
didn't
last
see
night.
that coming.
116,
Woods, I didn't
108.
see that coming.
Joe Ingles with the
Yeah.
7 3-pointers, man.
But he's been
It wasn't-
balling. He's
it-
been balling.
He has been balling, but Donovan Mitchell only had 17 points.
But
And
he had
Ingles
double.
stepped
He
up.
had like double-digit assists.
I want to say he had
Did
10
you see that
assists.
follow up?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, dude! How big is he, by the way?
He's 6'5".
Oh my
6'4",
God!
6'5". Yeah.
And Trevor Ariza, he didn't look good on that play because he missed the shot. After he saw it, he came back,
He came right back.
tomahawk, and dunked over 3 guys in the center. So that
Yeah.
was, to me, that was
That
more
was
of a
that was
hustle
on
play.
Sports Center.
Yeah, like 6 under
No,
times.
no, 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 no.
So the Houston Rockets, I think what they did, they beat them, they blew them out the first game, and they were talking about this last night that
I still got Utah.
You know,
versus.
I hear you, but I think that Houston took them lightly. They thought they were just gonna run over them. They got complacent on defense, shot selection, passing the ball like they do.
It just looked like they were lazy, like they didn't.
Yeah,
hustle.
because they
Out
thought they
hustle.
was just gonna
Yeah.
breeze by,
Right.
but they didn't know this fact, or I hope they did. The coaching staff, Utah has the #1 defense in these playoffs. Utah Jazz has the #1 defense in this playoff, so you can't sleep on a team that has the #1 defense.
Yeah,
you
man.
can't do it.
And they're proving that they can score right there with the
They
best
can
of
score
them too right now.
Yeah, they can.
Houston-
They play team ball.
Right.
Houston only had 7 losses at home, guys, and the Jazz were only 20 and 21 on the road. And I'm telling you, it looked like a different, like the momentum went
Yeah,
to
it's
Utah,
playoffs.
and now they're going to Utah.
Playoffs is different.
And I bet you what? I bet you it comes 2-2 back in Game 5 here in Houston. So
You think so?
I think it's going to go 2-2. I think Houston's going to take 1, but I think the Jazz are going to steal another. And I think it might go 6 or 7 at that point.
I still have it going in
Because I had
seven,
it,
Utah.
I had it 6, but the way it's looking, it could go 7. But Houston does not want it to go to 7 because it depends on what Golden State is doing in that series. And
Harden.
let me think about Golden State. Let's talk about that Golden State.
Wait. Let's focus on the Harden thing. If Harden does not win, get to the finals, him and Chris Paul are going to have that label, choke artists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
They got it. Stephen A. Smith. I know you're going to be talking about this. If he does not get out of this
You're
round,
right, you're
Utah
right.
was a 5 or 6 seed.
They're a
Yeah.
5th seed.
I mean, it's unconscionable at that point. Even if it goes 7, I think he's still going to look bad in that sense. But
But
that-
Golden State, though.
Yeah,
Golden
let's go to Golden
the
State.
Pelicans came out that second game. They really could have won that game. They had a lot of turnovers down the stretch, but Golden State better not sleep on the Pelicans.
They can't sleep on them.
They won. They blew them out the first game by 21. This game, they only won by 5 with Steph back.
That's true.
So think about that.
That is
Think
true.
about
And
that.
that's with Steph.
Well, I think when you look at a superstar like Steph Curry, I think what you have to look at is that he's going to get his 20 or something a game that's going to take away from someone else's shots. And especially
Klay Thompson hurt. They hurt
Klay
him.
Thompson sometimes struggles when Steph.
He is sometimes.
in
He
the
does.
lineup.
Right, and Clay, we know where your dad played, and we know when LeBron and Kawhi are coming to the Lakers. Man, why didn't you sign that contract? Why did you come to the Lakers?
But he's
Look at you
still,
trying to
but
build a
after this
super
year,
team.
They're trying to build a super team.
He's campaigning for that super team over
Yeah,
in
he
LA.
is.
I got no polo, so it's all
okay,
good.
let's go to.
Wait, the Warriors are 2-0 on the Pelicans. So that's the West. Anybody else have anything about the West?
I mean, I believe still is going to be Golden State, Houston.
Okay. And you said Houston to the finals.
I believe Houston
Okay.
can still.
I'm saying Golden State, Utah, and then Golden State goes to the finals.
I'm gonna-
There's too many weapons.
All right, I'm gonna go with Jamal. I'm gonna think it's Houston, Golden State, and I want Houston, but I think it's gonna be Golden State.
We all do.
All right, let's go to the East. This is our last segment, our last part. So let's start. You want to start with Cleveland, Toronto, or
I
Philly?
want to start with Cleveland.
All right, go for it.
They
Cleveland,
continue to doubt him. They continue to say he went to 7 games with Indiana. By the way, I respect you, Indiana.
Yeah.
Y'all a great team. And the future is bright for you guys. But when you come against the King James, that light dimmers, man. King James continually gets doubted. They said, oh, he doesn't have enough for Toronto. Toronto are baby dinosaurs. We seen that in game 1. Let me ask my brothers this. Or let me make a statement and you comment on it. I've never seen a superstar like LeBron carry a team on his back like he does. Out of every superstar, he's the only one that can take nobodies and still advance. The only other person he had with the championship runs that he went to with Cleveland was Kyrie. But everybody else was just basic role players. Jordan had Pippen, Tony
He was drafted
Kukoc,
to the Blue.
Rodman,
You can-
all
you can go-
championship.
You can go on and on with that.
So, do you think that LeBron is the only superstar that can carry a team on his back?
No.
But I have to disagree with you though, Jamal.
Tell me
I
who
really
else.
have to.
Well,
'Cause
tell me
the
who
only
else.
reason LeBron scored 0 points in overtime that night.
Tell me
the
who
only
else.
reason
Okay,
why they
tell
won
me
that
who else.
game though
Tell
is
me who
because
else.
of J.R. Smith stood. He actually
Finally
stepped
clutched up?
up. Right, he stepped up and he performed.
Tell me who
if
else.
nobody else performs,
Okay,
though,
you telling me
then
that.
he's gonna lose.
But tell me who else.
Can I raise my hand?
Allen Iverson was the only person
He
that
didn't
was
win
able
it though.
to- Yeah, but he
Kobe
was-
Bryant
You talking about-
in 2010 did it by himself.
No.
He had no one else that
Man,
team.
he had Paul Gasol. He had Lamar Odom. He had Ron
Robert
Artest,
Horry.
Robert Horry. No, he didn't have Robert Horry.
Come on, these guys are role players, man.
No, if they went to any other team, they'd be starting.
Robert Horry went to other teams and he was still the same player. He's just shot.
Robert Horry wasn't on there in 2010.
Okay, so that's even more of my point.
But
Kobe's the
when
last one.
Nah, he's not the last one.
LeBron,
LeBron is the only guy that could put a team on his back with nobody.
LeBron is not making to the finals.
He's going to make it to the finals again. Another. The doubt keep coming.
$1. $1.
Yeah.
A cigar.
Ooh, that's even more money than mine.
Yeah.
All right.
Any
LeBron's
cigar,
not
any
making.
cigar you want, sir.
But you still
want
haven't
that?
told me who else.
I don't think
He
Paul-
told me, but you
What?
haven't.
Another player that
I said Allen Iverson.
I said Allen Iverson was the only one
When
to
they
do
played
it,
the Lakers.
they
But
didn't
we're
win.
talking about that
Right,
one.
then right, but I don't see.
But he did it. AI, that's my favorite player. He did it, but he didn't win. LeBron did it and won.
Right, but I don't see.
Who
him,
else?
I don't see him winning now, though. Is my point.
No, your argument was that he wasn't the only one. He
Right.
is the
I
only.
can't bail you out on this.
Yeah, you're right.
Who?
You're right.
Who?
You're right. There isn't one right
I
now.
know.
We have a
it not.
chalkboard. It'd be Jam 1, Cole 4-5. 0 on
I
that.
took that goose egg.
So I'm saying Kobe, but again, it's a fight on
So
supporting
the
cast.
game
That's it.
tonight, who do you take against Toronto and the Cavs tonight?
Toronto, and the reason being is like I said, the only reason why I feel they won that game is because J.R. Smith played ball. He played lights out.
But actually, it was Tristan Thompson.
Well, Tristan Thompson
The
too.
Tristan Thompson
I mean, it's
was
gonna
ball.
come down. It's gonna come down to how Tristan Thompson plays and how J.R. Smith
Oh,
plays.
Tristan.
If
Once
J.R.
they
Smith
inserted
throws up those
Tristan
ugly
back
shots-
into they inserted Tristan Thompson back into the starting lineup game 7 against Indiana. And what happened?
Right.
They won.
They won.
Because
They won.
he's the hustle man.
Right.
He get all this loose scrap ball. He's been averaging a double-double since Game 7 of the Indiana Pacers and Cavs series. So, Tyronn Lue, thank you for waking up. I don't know, you took some salt,
By the way, that Cleveland,
woke up.
that game one, that was I saw the stat from ESPN Stats. They tweeted out. They said they didn't lead the entire game. They tied it up, and then they won in overtime. It hasn't happened since like the 70s.
Which again, LeBron scored 0 points in.
Doesn't matter. He's still a team, knows how to play as a team. But I don't think Cleveland's going to win tonight.
Okay.
I think Toronto's going to win, especially because Drake's going to be there.
Well, Drake was there last night.
I'm kidding. I just read it.
And he got into it. Oh, he got into it with Kendrick Perkins at the end of the game when they was going to the locker room. Him and him had some words.
Who's a worse fan? Drake, Spike Lee, or more of a distractor, or Jack Nicholson?
I think it's Drake right now.
You can't put it
because
on
Spike Lee is a staple.
Yeah.
You know, he made players elevate their game because he was talking.
Look at
Reggie Miller, man.
Reggie Miller.
After that,
yeah.
he scored 8 points.
But
in like
Drake,
6
he
seconds.
just talks. He just talks stuff, man.
Mumble rapper.
No, he's not a mumble. But
My cell phone.
yeah.
Okay, so you got Cavs tonight?
I think it's going to be a close game. I believe they can pull it out tonight, so I'm going to go with the Cavs.
So Toronto's favored by 6.5.
Tonight.
Would you take Cleveland in 6.5?
Yeah.
Okay, what would you do?
Man, it's going to be a close game. It really is going to be a close
It's gonna
game.
be a good game.
But they won seven games in the last series against the Pacers. They went into overtime. I can't even imagine how many IVs LeBron's taking right now. I mean,
Gatorade IVs?
right, Gatorade, just pure Gatorade, of course. But with them putting up that goose egg, like I said, the only reason why I feel they won is because J.R. Smith stepped up and he hit those big shots and those big moments.
Okay. So you got who?
So I got Toronto.
Toronto, Cleveland tonight. Let's see what happens. Let's go to the other series, Sixers and Celtics.
Oh, that's going to be a good series.
It's 1-0.
It's been a great series.
Boston and Philly's favored by 4.5 in Boston. That tells you how much they might have fluked in that first game.
They blew them out. A blowout is not a fluke. If you won by 2, that's
It could
questionable.
go either way, right?
You got blew out. The difference between the two teams, to me, is the coaching. Brad Stevens is probably going to be on the level of Popovich and Phil Jackson when it's all said and done. Because from Butler to now, he plays team ball.
Right.
The ball moves, the offense is very fluid. It's X's and O's with him. And you got superstars on top of the X's and O's, such as Michael Jordan, such as Kobe, Shaq, when they was with Phil, Tim Duncan, Manu. That's why they won so many championships, because it's not just the superstar. It was,
Right. They play team ball.
you know, they play team ball.
Yes.
And I believe Boston, and they're doing it without their superstars.
2 of them.
Right.
2 of them. So just imagine, you got all your superstars on this young. I think what it is, Philly is a younger team. They have some good players, but when it comes to the playoffs, brother, veteran leadership or veteran savvy, they don't have anybody other than J.J. Redick over in Philly that's been in the playoff battles. But even then, J.J. Redick never won the championship. Kyrie won the championship.
Right.
So they have that mouthpiece
In the locker room.
in the locker room.
Yeah, being a leader.
Even though he's not playing.
Right.
You see what
But
I'm
you
saying?
need that element.
You need that.
Right.
You need that. So I'm going to go with Celtics tonight.
So you want Celtics will have 2-0 lead after tonight?
I believe so.
Yeah, I might have to agree with you on this.
I'm going to go
one.
with the Celtics.
Yeah, I'll go with the Celtics.
I'm going to
as
say
well.
Philly's going to finally show up in this series. I think I'll be a devil's advocate, and I'll say Philly will tie it up going back into Philly because they are the favorite. I don't know if I would take 4.5. I think it's going to be a close game tonight.
Yeah, you wouldn't take that
Yeah.
after you get blew out.
Yeah, I can't. Gambling, no way.
But I believe they will respond, but I still believe that Boston will take it, man.
Well, there you got it. That's our NBA update playoff wise. Any final thoughts, words of wisdom from you guys today? What could you
What are
leave
you
our audience?
smoking?
Yeah, let's talk about what we're smoking.
Oh, go
first.
for it.
Yeah.
You guys do because mine's different than yours.
I'm smoking a MBK from a company called Black Label Trading Company out of Veje Negra in Nicaragua.
Oh, thank you. I'm smoking the Roma Craft Cro-Magnon. Roma Craft, shout out to you.
And the Weasels.
And the Weasels. I don't want to be a permanent weasel. So, but shout out to Jamie and them, Mike, Skip, all the guys at Roma Craft.
Danny.
Thank you guys.
Ivy.
You know, man, this is a great smoke. It's a medium to mild smoke. It's not really strong like other Maduros or, you know, but it's real smooth. All their stuff is smooth.
And creamy.
And it's creamy.
All right, I got the Southern Draw. This is the Jacob's Ladder Maduro. It's very peppery, actually really good because I had a really good. I had breakfast tacos at Rudy's. If you haven't been there, you got to go to that one. But this complements it really well.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. This is a local.
Yeah, Southern Draw.
Isn't he a
Just
military
like
guy?
Roma Craft.
And Jacob's Ladder, I think it's his son. I think there's another one that has a pink label, which is his wife's name, Rose, I think it's called.
Yes, Rose.
Very good cigar. So again, shout out to all of these cigars. I love it. That's why we do this, guys. Shooting the shit, talking about sports and leisure,
So we do.
smoking a stove. Can't be more manly than that. I mean, we need our bourbon and whiskey out here, but we'll eventually get those as well. Also, want to thank, we're at Monte Cristos today, which is right off of the Capital of Texas Highway and the Pennybacker Bridge here in Westlake Hills. Beautiful spot here. We want to thank the GM, the general manager here, Jeff Stiles, and Brad, who is, if you come in here, please tell them that Sticks and Picks, you saw the podcast, and they'll take care of you. So
Yeah, they will. So give a shout out to Monte Cristo. Words of wisdom. Don't stop. Keep going. No matter what comes your way, keep going. Keep pushing, keep elevating. Don't stop.
I was actually going to go in the same direction he was going. Be the best you can be no matter what it is that you do. As long as you do the best that you can do every day, you're going to be successful. You're going to have your setbacks that are going to, it's not going to work out to your advantage, but as long as you maintain your focus and you work through that and you're the best that you can be every day, you'll get past it and ultimately have success.
I mean, as a team here, we're starting up here at Sticks and Picks, and my thing I've learned this week is open communication with your buddies. It's such a big thing of honesty. You can't keep things in, guys. You've got to be able to express to people that you care about and you love your feelings, even if it's, do it privately, but express to those people how you feel. If something's wrong, tell them in a way that you're not hurting them. Just be open and honest with each other, guys. It's very important.
And one last thing, and this is probably from all of us and everybody in America. Kanye West, stop dyeing your damn hair.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you out there. Make sure to like and subscribe to our page. We'll also have a YouTube one. We're trying to incorporate that. But you guys have a great Thursday. We'll see you soon.
Sticks and
Sticks and
Picks,
Picks.
baby. Yes. Yes.
That was a good